This is me.
Hi, I'm Bez Garlow.
Hi, I'm Nesta Vicencio.
Wow, Michael Gilman.
My name is Emily Lakukuyu.
Guys, my name is Jacinth Headlam.
My name is Yacindy Martin.
I'm Octavius Salperi.
Nano Salas.
My name is Wayne Yoder.
Hi, this is Bill Rogers.
Well, hello, welcome. I'm D. Curtis. You're watching This Is Me. This Is Me is a new show that is all about me. No, not really. It's all about you. But the name of the show is This Is Me. So I can't say this is you, even though the show is all about you. So that's why it's about me. Nah, not really me. This whole thing is getting confusing. Can you just repeat after me? Say, this is me.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me.
There you go, you got it. This Is Me is a show that gave personalities the unique opportunity to tell their own stories right here on This Is Me. What better person to tell your story than me? No, I mean you on This Is Me.
This is me. No one else can tell my story. No one else but me. Oh yeah. This is me. This is me. Yeah. Get to know who I am.
Listen, come closer, let me tell you something that's secret. This is me. We're looking for sponsors. We're looking for people to partner with us. We can't do this on our own. If you'd love to sponsor, please contact us today. Like today. Huh? Today.
This is me.
Hi, I'm Bez Garlow.
Hi, I'm Nesta Vicencio.
Wow, Michael Gilman.
My name is Emily Lakukuyu.
Guys, my name is Jacinth Headlam.
My name is Yacindy Martin.
I'm Octavius Salperi.
Nano Salas.
My name is Wayne Yoder.
Hi, this is Bill Rogers.
Well, hello, welcome. I'm D. Curtis. You're watching This Is Me. This Is Me is a new show that is all about me. No, not really. It's all about you. But the name of the show is This Is Me. So I can't say this is you, even though the show is all about you. So that's why it's about me. Nah, not really me. This whole thing is getting confusing. Can you just repeat after me? Say, this is me.
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 There you go, you got it. This Is Me is a show that gave personalities the unique opportunity to tell their own stories right here on This Is Me. What better person to tell your story than me? No, I mean you on This Is Me.
This is me. No one else can tell my story. No one else but me. Oh yeah. This is me. This is me. Yeah. Get to know who I am.
Listen, come closer, let me tell you something that's secret. This is me. We're looking for sponsors. We're looking for people to partner with us. We can't do this on our own. If you'd love to sponsor, please contact us today. Like today. Huh? Today.
No one else but me. Oh yeah. This is me. Yeah. This is me. Yeah. Get to know who I am from me. 'Cause this is me. Yeah. Do you wanna know? Are you really sure? I'm beautiful. Yeah, I am
and this is me. Hi, I'm Alexander Cummings, and this is me.
This is me. This is me. Yeah. This is me.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm D. Curtis. You're watching This Is Me, yet another episode. And this time around, I'm in the presence of a noble man called Mr. Alexander Cummings, who we're about to find out a lot more about. So sit back, enjoy, relax yourself. Mr. Cummings, thank you for having us.
Thank you. It's great to be with you, D. Curtis. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
So do I. So, who is Mr. Cummings?
Mr. Cummings is a son. He is a husband. He is a father, a grandfather, and one who passionately cares for his family, his friends, his relatives, and his country. And these are all a function of kind of my priorities in life. As I mentioned, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, I'm a son, I'm a brother. And again, I care passionately about our country, and anything I can do to help change the direction of Liberia is something I'm committed to doing.
Great, great. So I would like to start from the aspect of being a son. Walk me through your childhood in Liberia. How did it all start? Your parents, where you grew up, where were you born?
Sure. So I was born in the old government hospital.
Okay.
Used to be at the top of Ashmont Street.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer there, but I was born there. We lived in Bushra Island in the Point 4 area.
Okay.
For many years until I was 12 or 13 years old. And there, you did all the things young people did. We played football. I went to demonstration school while living in Point 4. And then we moved to Fiama in Sinko. As I said, I don't know, 12, 14 years old, somewhere in that range.
Right.
And then I went to Sevier for high school. Lots of friends and girlfriends, all the normal things, young Liberian boys did at the time.
Okay.
I went to Cuttington for a year and a half after high school. In high school, I was always active in student politics as well. Okay. Class treasurer, sometimes class senator. I was senior class president when I graduated from Sevier. Went to Cuttington for a year and a half. I was also involved in politics at Cuttington as well. And then I went to the U.S. for undergraduate school.
All right.
Studied.
Let's stay right there.
Go back to Liberia?
Yeah, let's go back to Liberia before we go to the U.S. So when you played football, were you a striker, defender, like you the people who used to keep people boom, or what position you played? I was more sort of midfielder, forward. I wasn't a striker, but to be honest, I wasn't very good. I like to be honest with myself, right? I know my area, right? And I played football with a lot of passion. Okay. Right? I mean, I played the game with a lot of passion, but I wasn't very good, to be honest. But I played midfield, and sometimes I would play forward. No, I was never a striker. Okay. Yeah. So let's dive deeper into your family. Dad, mom, do you have siblings? Yeah. So no, thanks for that. So my father, I'm named after my father. I'm his junior. My father's deceased now. Sorry to hear that. Well, my father grew up initially in Harper, in Maryland, where the Cummings family is from. And then he came to Monrovia to live with a much older sister. And he was a ward of his older sister. And I went to high school in University of Liberia at the time. And then he got a scholarship and studied at American University of Beirut. Started administration education as a cadet. So he's been in the education field his entire career as a cadet, and he kind of rose up through the ranks. But then he left government in his late 40s, early 50s, and actually went into the priesthood, became an Episcopal
priest.
Okay.
Yeah. So we grew up in Episcopal church. I grew up Episcopalian. I'm now a Methodist. There's a story to that we might get to as well.
Right.
My mother was a midwife. She was my mother was born in Monrovia, Io. Taylor Cummings. Taylor was her maiden name. She went to CABA for high school, and then she became a midwife, a practicing nurse, if you will. And she was also a small businesswoman. She used to sell women's clothing and underwears and that kind of stuff. I have 3 sisters. Unfortunately, one is my younger sister is deceased.
Okay.
But I'm the third. I'm the one of four children, and so I'm the third. I had 2 older sisters.
So the only boy.
I was the only boy. Yeah, correct.
So you got to step up.
I had to step up. Sometimes people think I was spoiled because I was the only boy, but actually my mother was actually tough on me, which is good.
Right.
I give both parents, my father and mother, a lot of credit for who and what I am today.
Right.
The values they had of hard work, integrity. My mother used to always say, hard work don't kill anybody.
Right.
Right. She used to push me and us, and of course a lot of prayers from my parents. But we're very close. I'm close with my sisters. And as I said, unfortunately, we lost our younger sister in 2017. So that's the kind of immediate family. I'm married to Teresa, my wife.
Let's go back to mom, and then we'll go back to your wife. Yeah, that's how you tell when somebody really in love. I want to talk about a wife real quick, but we'll go back to your wife later on.
Absolutely.
I saw you recently left Liberia to visit your mom. How was your visitation? How's she doing?
She's doing okay. You know, mommy will be 94.
94.
In August this year. And it's just it's an actuarial fact that we don't have too much longer with her. And so I don't like to stay away from her for extended periods of time.
Right.
And she's in rehabilitation. She's in a rehab place. So we went to see her. And, you know, thank God she's doing okay. I sometimes describe mommy as being tired.
Right.
After living for so long, or this while. But we thank God she's still with us. And it was good. It was good to see her, spend time with her. And as I say, decode it as often as I can, because it's a matter of the arithmetic.
Right.
At 94 in August,
right.
We're not going to have her for too much longer. I hope it's a very long time, but
right.
The statistics say probably not.
So you're the one that disciplined you in at home, or was it that?
Both. But the discipline is in different ways, D. Curtis. My mother used to actually beat her with a rattan, right? And my father would have these firm talks. It was almost as effective. I mean, he'd sit you down and lecture you. And so it was kind of yin and yang.
Right.
Depending on the violation, I would call it, you know, they would determine who did what.
Right.
Yeah. But they both had a lot of influence on my life. And I think I'm a bit of both of them, I think. My father was very deliberate, very focused, quiet, almost shy.
Right.
And to a large extent, I am. So both parents, you know, influenced me in different ways. And so I'm very grateful for. And you know, I tell people, dear credits, that it's a true blessing because you don't choose your parents.
That's right.
You don't choose the circumstance you're born into. And so I was blessed to have the parents who worked very hard. When my parents first got married, they were in a 1-bedroom place on Camp Johnson Road, actually. And through hard work, you know, they built a house small, the first house they built. You know, back then, you would take what they call LPA, take a loan
from
the government, buy some sand, cement, do one section, then you pay that back.
And then
get some more money, you do the next section. And that's how they built their first house.
Wow.
And so on and so forth. So, so I learned the discipline of hard work, of focus, of being determined. Those things I got from both parents in different ways.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I know most parents, they have a way where when you're misbehaving, they can send you a signal. Sometimes it's a look, sometimes a clear of a throat, What was it in your home?
It was more a look, I would say.
They gave you that evil
Yeah,
eye.
just give you that evil eye, like
Let me see it.
yeah, get in line. Don't
Okay.
don't misbehave. And then there were clear rules. Like when we went to church,
Right.
my mother would say, "Go to the bathroom before we go to church." But when we went to church, we're not gonna get up to go to the bathroom. If the service was 1 hour, 2 hours,
You're there for the whole
we're
team.
there. Yeah, the rules were clear.
Right.
The rules around studying, there was just some basic things that those were expectations. There was never any question because that I would go to college, to university, right? My mother didn't go to university,
Right.
and she was determined that we would all go to university.
So now you wanted to talk about the love of your life.
Yes.
So walk me through the journey. How did you meet her?
Right.
So
we met in the U.S. in Atlanta.
Okay.
I was in graduate school at the time, Atlanta University, and she was a counselor and worked at Spelman College. And actually was a Liberian woman, Howard Cummings, who's deceased now, unfortunately. Good friend of my wife at the time and of me. So Howard introduced us on the Atlanta University Center campus, and so that's how I met my wife. And in fact, the introduction was interesting because Howard said, "Come go meet your future wife."
Oh, really? Just like that?
Just like that. So Teresa and I met, and we dated, got married.
You're just making the thing sound easy. We met, we did it. So when they say come go meet your future wife, when you got there, you pull lecture, how the whole thing happened?
But that was a long time ago now. You
don't
can't test my memory. We've been married for 40 years.
40 years.
It was 40 years this past February.
Impressive.
So, but yeah, look, initially kind of sort of shy. We started off slowly, kind of getting to know each other. I like the movies, so I think our first date,
What's that movie?
I took her to the movies, and Teresa, we still today we like to watch movies together. I also like to go out and eat. I like going out and having dinners and trying different kind of foods and that kind of stuff. So one of our early dates, I also took her out to dinner and that sort of stuff.
You do it a real gentleman.
Yeah, I did, and we connected, right? And again, some of this is a blessing, right? Because you just never know how relationships turn out.
Right.
You never know how you will grow and how your wife will grow together, and that's so. I always give God credit for the woman I fell in love with, and we decided to get married. The other thing I would say to you, in my career, I moved around a lot,
right?
Because of my job, both in the U.S. and internationally. And again, I give Teresa a lot of credit for raising the kids, because when I was away, she was there alone with, we got two kids, two children, a girl and a boy.
Okay.
Even when we were moving internationally, D. Curtis, I remembered we moved to Nigeria.
Okay.
When I was going to run the Coca-Cola business there. And we landed, and within a few days, I left. I had to go travel, and I left Teresa in a new country, kind of all by herself, and she figured it out. No complaints,
right?
Any of that stuff. Even in the U.S., when Teresa was pregnant with our son, Boy Kai, we moved from Minneapolis to Pennsylvania, Allentown, and she was pregnant. She was like 9 months pregnant when we moved. Completely new city, no family, no nothing, and so she's been very resilient, very tough, committed, supportive. And so the success, I say we have had, not I.
That's a good way to look at it.
We have had success together.
Yeah.
And she takes as much credit. She certainly takes a lot of credit for who our children are today.
Right.
I think I helped.
Right.
But I'll give Teresa, because I was
traveling all around.
I was traveling a lot. And it was part of the sacrifice for where we are today.
That's right.
Yeah. My daughter Ayu, She's an actress, which is a hard profession.
Was she acting here?
No, in the U.S.
Okay.
She also teaches as well. That's how she supports kind of the starving actress type stuff. And so now my daughter Aya, and then I have a son Boykai. Boykai, he's in business. He lives in Johannesburg. He's married to a South African. Aya is not married. Boykai is married to a South African, so he lives there in South Africa, Johannesburg, with his wife. And he's got 4 kids, 3 girls and 1 boy. So that's how we got our grandkids. And again, as a family unit, we're very, very close.
Right.
And as I mentioned, 2 of my sisters, my mother are still alive, and we're close to them as well. So that's kind of the kids and the grandkids.
Care to share any one of your proudest dad moment?
Well, I think when both of them finished university, were proud moments for us.
Right.
When my son got married, he has a wonderful wife. Level, I think he got blessed too.
Right.
That was, yeah, I think so. For his sake, I hope so. Right. So proud of that. My daughter just recently was able to sort of do a deal where she'll play a small part in a movie.
Okay.
Still working on the details of that, but it's something she's very proud of, and therefore I'm very proud of that, because she's been very persistent in this effort, and so it looks like it'll work out, and therefore kind of very.
Is it something big in Hollywood or something?
No, I mean hopefully it will be big.
Okay.
But I think it's a horror movie, black horror movie. And then my son is doing a very good job running. He runs our family businesses, what we call the family office. And Boykai, he's doing an outstanding job running the family office. So something we're very proud of. So the fact,
did you have to talk him into it? Was he interested in doing it?
No, he was always interested in business. He never wanted to work like I did for a corporation.
Okay.
He always wanted to do something on his own business and that kind of stuff. And so what he does now with the family office is he identifies companies to invest in, and then he helps to manage them, coach people, and that kind of stuff. And again, he's doing a good job.
I want to bring us back a little. When did you leave Liberia? Was it prior to the war, during the war?
Sure.
And, where was the destination after you left Liberia?
So I left to finish undergraduate school prior to the war.
Prior to the war. Okay.
So I was at Cuddington, and then I had the opportunity to go to Illinois. I went to Northern Illinois University, where I studied finance and economics, finance major, economics minor. And so I finished undergraduate school in 1978. I came back home, and I worked at LBDI, Liberian Bank for Development and Investment. I worked there for 2 years, and then I applied to go to graduate school, and then, the coup took place. But I always planned to come back. I wanted to get some work experience in the U.S. prior to coming back. And in the process of, while working, getting some U.S. experience, then the kind of war broke up. So it didn't make sense to come back to the middle of that conflict.
Makes sense.
And so that's kind of where I started my international business journey. But I used to always come and go, though, and visit, family, friends, when it was safe to come in and out. And always had Liberia on my heart and mind, and helped in ways that I could. Individuals, family, friends, sending money back home, like most Liberians do. So that's not unique. I'm sure you probably have to do that as well, even now. But that's started the sort of the international piece.
What do you enjoy doing in Liberia?
Well, indeed, I enjoy these things everywhere, but in Liberia specifically. First of all, as I mentioned earlier, even though it doesn't show, I like food. I like to eat.
Yeah.
I'm moderate, so I eat everything, and I try to do everything in moderation, right? But I look forward to a good meal. And I like most Liberian dishes, but pan butter.
Pan butter your favorite?
One of my favorites. Again, maybe because the family from Maryland. Maybe maybe there's something in the genes that there. But I like pan butter. I like soup and fufu.
So the pan butter, is it with rice or fufu or
both? I would say both. Mostly with rice, but I eat pan butter fufu too. But I like soup and fufu.
Soup and fufu.
Or soup and dumbo.
So you eating with your hand or you eating with spoon?
To be honest, I eat with my spoon. I eat with spoon.
You eat with spoon?
I eat with spoon.
You eat fufu with spoon, everything?
I do.
Fork?
I do.
Fork with fufu?
No. No, I do fork with rice.
Okay.
And I do spoon with fufu. Although my wife said I fooled her though. Because when we first started dating, I actually cooked a meal for her. As I mentioned, I was in Atlanta. I remember, I think it was pork chops. Either pork chops or steak. But I breaded it. Crackers, I broke up the crackers. You know, I seasoned the crackers and then I put I think it was pork chops in the crackers. And then I kind of put it in the oven and kind of let it bake. And that was probably my only, I mean, I can scramble eggs, I can do small stuff, but I don't cook. Right, and Teresa said I fooled her, I jabbed her, that she thought I could cook. And
she ate all that food that day?
She enjoyed it, and that's why she married me. I fooled her. I jabbed her. So I enjoy that. I enjoy getting together with friends and having a drink. You know, I enjoy a cigar occasionally. I smoke a cigar, cognac or scotch, with some friends. I like watching movies, so we watch movies here on, do video, Netflix, and that sort of stuff.
So when you go out to drink, what are you drinking?
So I usually start with wine. Okay. So I like wine with my meals, and then I might end the evening with a scotch, or sometimes cognac. Depends on the mood. But I enjoy a good drink, and again, every now and then I take a cigar and relax. I like music. Okay. I don't play any instrument, but I like variety of music. Depending on my mood, it can be African, it can be R&B, it can be a bit of jazz. Even sometimes on Sundays, when we kind of just relax and do nothing, I play a bit of classical music in the background. I don't know any sort of classical artist per se, but I know songs that I like classical music. It's just kind of in the background. So my taste is eclectic.
Who would you say one of your favorite Liberian artists is?
Detour. I like Born to Win. I like Born to Win.
Okay.
I don't claim that mantra, but I like the idea.
You know how to sing any verse on that song?
No, again, I know my area.
Oh, okay.
If I try to sing here, your camera would break or something. I like Takunje. Okay. I like you lied.
Has a very powerful message.
Yeah, very powerful message.
That song can never get old.
Well. It never get old.
Yeah. Regine.
Yeah. So, but again, my musical taste is kind of wide variety. A little bit of R&B, a little bit of jazz. It depends on the mood.
So when you're in Liberia, if you're not eating home, have you tried some of the kobo shy around?
Yeah. So I've done Terracotta. I've done Mary's, which I think is on Cheeseman and like 19th Street or something like that. So I do some of the local, restaurants. Sometimes we order.
So I know it's been a long time, right? You've been married for quite a while. But let's imagine you just met your wife. She's sitting down over there. You come here, approach her for the very first time.
I forgot all my strokes. My strokes. So in terms of approaching her, what would I say to her?
Yeah.
I would do what I did 40 years ago.
What's that?
Ask her out for a date.
So
let's, Teresa.
Do the role play. As a manager, that's part of some of this role play.
I would say, nice to meet you, Teresa. You are beautiful.
You just now he said nice to meet you, Teresa. How you got to know her name, Teresa?
Let me finish that because the person introduced me. This is Teresa.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Teresa Mack is her name. I said, nice to meet you, Teresa. You look stunning. can we go for a drink? Can we have a conversation? And I would start small, along those lines, just to.
What did she take? Say she's not thirsty.
Then let's go eat, or let's go for a walk, whatever, right? But if she's not tested, then I know I've lost it. Then my mojo
The mojo not
not working.
So before the Coca-Cola, what would you say contributed to you being promoted to that? Like, you know, most of the time we know about the achievement, but the stuff that you cooked in the background that actually got you to that point, we don't get to know those parts. So what are some of the things?
Sure.
That you...
Yeah, so I tell people in terms of career advice because they help me in, and this is in no particular order of things, but hard work and discipline, something I still have till today. So I got to Pillsbury. I remember my first few weeks and months, I was so nervous, right? And I didn't think, I don't think I can make it here. I can cut it, and that kind of stuff, which I think perhaps was normal, but slowly I kind of gained confidence that I could cope. I could compete with other people and colleagues. But then it was focus, it was discipline, it was knowing what I knew and knowing what I didn't know. So even till today, and started back then, always learning, always being curious, always asking questions. Right? Never assuming I knew it all. And I also say to young people, the credit is, yes, you should be ambitious. Yes, you should look ahead in terms of what you want to do in the future. But if you spend too much time looking too far ahead, you miss immediate opportunities. Or you miss obstacles that you trip over that you would have seen. If you're just looking over there, you're not looking down here, right? And so I always focus on what I had to do today and try to do it well. Try to be the best at it. And then it's also about relationships. It's about people knowing you, you knowing people. I had a mentor early on, person who took interest in me very early on, and helped me to understand.
Get to share the person's name?
Oh, it was a white American guy. His name was Terry Bowmaster. Terry Bowmaster, and he just took an interest in me, and started to mentor me and tell me what to do, what to say, and all that kind of stuff, and help my career. When there were opportunities in the company, he said, look, I think you should apply for this role. It will help your development. So one of my first jobs outside of Minneapolis, I was 2 years at Pillsbury in Minneapolis. There was an opening for plant controller, plant controller in Pennsylvania. And he said, I think you should apply for this job. He said, one, it will help to improve your accounting skills because it's an accounting job. You will get to manage people early on in my career. So I was, 26, 27?
And how many people were you managing?
I was managing about five, 6 people, accounting staff, so professionals. And it was that sort of mentorship guidance. He said, look, I think it'll be good for you. You have a strong finance background. Your accounting is good, but if you're forced to do more accounting, it will round you out, finance and accounting. And you get to manage people early on, motivate them, And so that was helpful for me. And then, I had successive promotions, performing well, and then became Vice President of Finance for Pillsbury International, which was the last job I had before I joined Coca-Cola.
Okay, speaking of Coca-Cola, we know the height you got, but I want to know what was the first or the entry-level position that you held at Coca-Cola?
So I was hired in the U.S. from Pillsbury, but my first assignment was in Nigeria.
Okay.
I went to Nigeria, and they had it all mapped out. I would go to Nigeria as what they call deputy managing director, deputy regional manager, for 6 to 12 months to understand the business, understand the environment. I did that successfully, and then I became managing director or regional manager for Nigeria. And at the time, Nigeria was the second biggest market in Africa for Coca-Cola. So it was a big job. So I managed our Nigerian business. I did that for almost 3 years successfully, 3.5 years or so. And then I was promoted to what we call division president. So I took responsibility for about half of Africa,
Right.
based out of Nairobi. So I moved from Lagos to Nairobi. I was there about a year or so. Then I got moved to Morocco.
Wow.
Take a different part of the continent. So at that time, I took over Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia. I kept all of West Africa. But I was only there a short while in Casablanca, less than 6 months.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of change in the company. And then I got promoted to group president for Africa, to run all of Africa based out of London initially. So I ran the entire African continent for Coca-Cola. I did that for 7 years. I think it's the job I enjoyed the most in my career, even though I got promoted again.
Right.
And we will talk about that. But I enjoyed it because I was involved in Africa. My passion, Liberia, Africa.
Right.
I had a lot of autonomy.
Right.
To make decisions, to grow and drive the business. But it's because I did so well running Africa that I got promoted to executive vice president and chief administrative officer of the entire company globally.
Right.
And sometimes hard to explain to people what that means.
Mm-hmm.
But Coca-Cola is a big company. We're in every country in the world.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. The market value, so on the New York Stock Exchange, the value of Coca-Cola is over $250 billion. It's a big business everywhere in the world. And our Liberian, right? It wasn't my father's company, my mother, but I was able to rise to number 2, 3 position global in the world. I had responsibility, D. Curtis, for strategy for the company worldwide, human resources for the company worldwide, the legal function worldwide, the IT, information technology worldwide, all of the technical functions, so manufacturing, R&D, procurement, quality, all the technical functions reported to me on a global basis. The Coca-Cola Global Foundation, sustainability. So I had a big job managing lots of people around the world, different time zones, different culture, different time zones, billions of dollars to manage. And, we did it well. Again, those attributes, building a good team, recognizing it's not about me. If you build a team, right, you empower them, you hold them accountable, right? You clear on the expectations. You clear on the results you want to achieve. You measure people. You encourage them. You support them. You give them credit, recognition. You don't take the credit for yourself. Because at the end of the day, T. Curtis, people remember the leader. Right? So let your people take the credit. Empower them. Get good people. Don't be intimidated by people. I always want to hire people smarter than me. Because I don't know it all. And if you hire good people, they do what, as a leader, you will get a credit. So
speaking of hiring good people, people smarter than you, what's your vetting process? Like, what do you look for? Especially with you managing this vast number of people from different backgrounds. What were some of the things or the key points that you look for in an individual to have?
So there's a saying, it's not my saying, it's a general saying that the best way to predict future behavior or future performance is past behavior, past performance. This is why when you go to interview, take a resume, they look at what you've done, right? So that's where I start. I look at the person's past experience. What have they done? And I try to push them, even when I do references, to actually focus on results, what they actually did. What did they achieve, not activity. Sometimes people assume being busy and a lot of activity with results. You can be very busy and achieve nothing, right? So it's trying to really probe the person, looking at the resume, and when you're checking references for results, what did they actually accomplish? What was their role in doing that? So that's one part of trying to vet, is to really, really push for the past performance, the past history. The other thing I try to look for in people is people who, what I call are confident in themselves, are secure in themselves. Because people who are insecure, they would not hire good people. Because they will be afraid that because they're not confident, secure, to be afraid if I hire D Curtis, it will make me look bad,
Right.
or he will look smarter than me. When you're confident in yourself, when you're secure, it's okay. D Curtis will be better in some areas than you are. You will be better, and that's fine. And the combination, right, is what will make you collectively successful. So I try to assess how secure a person is, how comfortable they are in their own selves. I tell people one of my biggest strengths, D Curtis, is I know myself. I know what I know. I know what I don't know. And I'm very comfortable with that.
Right.
So because I know what I know what I don't know, I hire people who know what I don't know.
Makes a lot of sense.
I don't hire people just to be more mini Alex or
Right.
mini me. I call it. I want people who are different, who complement, who bring skills I don't have, who bring attributes I don't have. And so that's what, and in building a team, in hiring these very senior people, we're looking for what they bring individually, how they will fit into the team collectively so that we can achieve the collective results. And I've had a lot of success hiring good, talented people. I've made some mistakes too, by the way, and you do. When you hire people, you will not get it all right. Anybody tell you everybody hires, well, they lying to you, right? But more often than not, we get it right.
A place of tolerance or a place of celebration? Where would you rather be and why?
I mean, how do you describe a place of tolerance? I understand place of celebration.
Where you're just being tolerated. They're just coping with you.
I would say it depends.
Okay.
D. Curtis. Net, you want to be, it's sort of easier to be in a place where you celebrate it.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of easy, right? But there are times and there are situations where to make the sort of change that is necessary to accomplish some of the results, because achieving results and success is not easy.
Right.
You gotta be comfortable being tolerated. You gotta be comfortable sometimes not being liked. You gotta be comfortable sometimes not people liking your decisions. If you're not comfortable with that situation, you will not achieve anything significant. So yes, it's easy to be celebrated, and many people like that. And I'm human. That's easy. I like that too, right? But in my work and life experience,
Right.
achieving ultimate and sustained success, achieving results, transforming situations and circumstances require a higher tolerance for being tolerated, for not being popular, people not liking your decisions, people sometimes in the moment not understanding your decisions.
Right.
I'm also a person that believes that, for example, when people are not performing, you need to sit and have the hard conversation and give them a chance. But you can only give people so many chances.
Right.
After a while, they are better off, and you are better off sometimes separating. But you do it with dignity. You treat them well. You don't disrespect people. You don't make them feel like, whatever, right? But sometimes that tough love is required if you want to achieve great things. And so that's why I say it depends. Celebration versus intolerance.
It sounds like you
comfortable
don't
both.
mind the celebration, but you rather be okay.
Well, to achieve good results,
Right.
then not that I enjoy it, but it's necessary.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the driving force or the motivation behind wanting to be the next president of the Republic of Liberia?
Yeah. So the way I try to answer that, and I hope people understand, is as follows. First of all, I go back to the fact I've been blessed. And I say that deliberately. Some people say lucky. I say blessed.
Right.
As I mentioned, parents are hardworking, good values, right from wrong, integrity. I'm blessed to be a Liberian, something I'm very proud of.
Right.
Blessed with half a brain. So that's not a choice. It's a blessing. Mm-hmm. And blessed to have had some success in life. And so, dear credits, I look at all of these blessings and I thought, look, I need to use some of this to help Liberia, the country of my birth, the country I love and care for, the people of Liberia. And there are many ways to help, not just the presidency, right? And there are other ways we help. We have a foundation, we do other things to help people, situations. But if you want to impact all 5 million or so Liberians, if you want to impact their lives, the presidency is the job that allows you to do that. And so as I look at our country, because for me it's about transforming the lives, the presidency is not the destination, it's a means to an end.
Okay.
The end is how do we change the country?
Okay.
How do we reduce the suffering? How do we help create jobs for our people? How do we help educate our young people, give them training? How do we give them some of the opportunities I have? Right? And if you want to impact all of those things, improving healthcare and education and infrastructure, and again, reduce the suffering, give young people jobs, training development, the way to do it is through the presidency. So the presidency is not the destination, it's a means to an end.
Right.
The end is how do we improve the lives of our people? How do we transform our country? That for me is the passion. The job just allows me to do it. That is my aspiration is for changing Liberia, for making our country different. But my aspiration is not the presidency. The presidency is the means to an end. Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
The aspiration, the determination, the focus is, because I think we can do better. Liberia deserves better. The credit is we are too rich a country for us to be so poor. I travel the length and breadth of this country. I see the resources. I see some of the resources leaving Liberia. I was in Wiswa. Used to be the diamond capital of Liberia. I don't know, maybe you're too young to remember. The diamond almost completely gone. I was in Wiswa late last year. It's in Papalu. I was with Senator Natin, our chairman. And there's nothing left in Wiswa.
Everything is
the diamond gone. And there's nothing, no running water, no good schools, hospital, nothing. That cannot be. That should not be. Not with a country with the resources we have. And by the way, it can be a win-win. We have a win-lose mentality. If I win, that means you lose.
Yeah.
We can manage the resources so that the corporations that invest, they can make money.
And then
Everyone can benefit. We can do the rules. Everybody can win. It's all about how we manage the resources. It's all about understanding the value of the resources. It's understanding the economics of the various industries. How do the folks make money? What kind of return do they need? And what do we need to develop our country? We can find a win-win for our country. And so, I see all of that, and I think I can build a team of Liberians that working together, we can transform our country. And I used to wear we deliberately.
You said wear what?
We, W-E.
Okay.
Not I, we.
Oh, okay. I got it now. I got it.
Yeah, because if anybody thinks just they can do it,
Right.
I tell you for free, they're lying to you.
Right.
It would take the collective effort of many us, Liberians in general, but collective leadership to do what's required to transform and change this country. But it can be done. Not overnight, not easily, but it can be done. And that for me is the passion, is how can we work together. I view it as sort of servant leadership. Right? It's to serve the people. I serve at the will and pleasure. I'm not there to play big shot, to lord over people, right? It's how we serve them, how we make Liberians better, how we make the country better, right? That's the passion, that's the goal. And the job is a means to an end. And I hope Liberians understand that it's not, people say, oh, the man Abu, I'm Abu to change the country. I don't apologize for being Abu. I'm ambitious to change the country. I'm not Abu for the job. The job is just will get me to. Yeah, it's a means to it. As a child, I never thought I would have the success I have today. So, in fact, when I was younger, I changed my mind about what I wanted to be several times.
Right.
At one time, I wanted to be, like most young people, I think. At one time, I think I wanted to be a doctor, and then I'm not sure what happened. I decided no. At one time, I thought I wanted to be an engineer, right? And then I settled on business and finance and accounting, economics. And the level of success I achieved in business, it wasn't something I dreamed I would or thought I would. But I'm blessed that I did. There's nothing else I'm aspiring to per se. If you ask me some things I like to do on my bucket list, I like to travel. Even though I travel a lot, when I was in business, it was business. It was not for pleasure.
Okay.
Right? And so I would love to have the time before the good luck calls me home to do a lot of travel for business.
What would be the ideal destination?
There will be several. I like the Indian Ocean in Africa, the east coast of Africa, the beaches along the east coast of Africa. Would be places along, whether it's Kenya, all the way down to Mozambique. I've been to the Seychelles once, and Mauritius. I would love to spend more time in that part of the world. I like parts of Asia. I would like to visit and spend more time. Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam would be places that would intrigue me. There's places to visit. I lived in the UK, so I did some travel around Europe. So I wouldn't spend too much time there. And Latin America, we interest me as well to visit. Because I ran Cook Africa, I visited at least 40 or plus African countries, at least. I think there are 53 countries in Africa. I've done 40 or 43 of them. So I've covered the continent quite extensively, North, Central, and Southern Africa. But I would say the East Africa coast is quite stunning. And then visiting, doing safaris in South or East Africa, we enjoy those as well. It'll be good to spend more time, doing that sort of stuff.
I'll allow you to give your closing remarks, to our viewing audience. It could be a quotation, it could be your message, anything.
First of all, D. Curtis, thank you. I actually enjoy the conversation. It is a chance to share with your audience that this is me. This is Alexander Cummings, and so thank you for that. I want to just remind Liberians and any non-Liberians who are listening to this conversation is that my favorite quotation that I keep repeating here in Liberia is that we can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results.
Right.
That is true in your personal life, and it's true in our national life. And the example I like to use is if you're a student and you go into school, you made C last semester, you want to make a B.
Right.
If you keep your same study habits, you might even make a D because the lesson is getting harder.
Right.
If you want to make a B, or even to maintain where you are at C, you got to do something different. You got to study harder. You can't keep doing the same thing, right? The other simple example I like to give for people to understand that concept is if you have a radio, a battery radio, and the battery runs down, but you keep putting the same battery in the radio will not work. Right? You got to put a new battery in the radio. And so whether as a country, as a people, we think about our personal lives or our national lives, I encourage people to do something different. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a Liberian thing, right? Even you, D. Curtis, it can be small. It doesn't have to be major.
Right.
But do something different. Do something to get a different outcome. And it will all not work. Right? But if you keep doing something different, some will hit, some will work, right? But if you just keep in the same rut, the same routine, and just somehow you expect a miracle.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And so that's a message I want to leave the audience with. But again, to thank you for a good conversation. But a lot of my interviews can be more serious, that kind of stuff. And this is a chance to just talk about myself.
Exactly.
Who I am, my wife, family, kids.
Right. And then
people get to know me.
Yeah, and that's the void that we saw, whenever we see you guys in an interview, you said this, No, none me say you did this. No, that your policy. None of my policy. You know.
Right.
So we really don't know our leaders like that.
Right.
You know. So the opportunity here is for us to get to know you.
Right.
And we certainly do appreciate the opportunity to hear your story, know how you got to where you are, and stuff like that. That a young boy out there can sit and say, if I do these things that he did,
right.
I might end up like him.
Right.
So that's the whole motive behind This Is Me.
Right.
Well, Mr. Cummings, thanks again. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, your background, aspiration, and everything that you have to share with us. And I hope you guys have some nuggets, some takeaway, because I certainly do. Thanks for watching This Is Me. I'm D. Curtis. See you on the next episode.
This is me. This is me. Yeah. No one else can tell my story. No one else but me. Oh yeah. This is me. This is me. Yeah. Get to know who I am from me. 'Cause this is me.
Who would you love to see on This Is Me?
There are a lot of young Liberian entrepreneurs,
Okay.
business people that are doing very well. I think the president mentioned one in his State of the Union address, the J-Palm, in his State of the Nation address, J-Palm, Mahmoud Johnson.
Right.
Young, I don't know if you know Mahmoud,
I know.
but he runs J-Palm. He will be a good guy,
Right.
good feature. I mean, the other, Lavetta Sandolo, she does a lot of small businesses. Brenda Brewer-Moore, who does the schools and learning,
Right,
libraries. Richelieu Dennis, if you've heard the name Richelieu. He and his partner named Tatma Liberians, they own the Sheer Moisture Cosmetics.
Right,
And they sold it
Can
to
we try reaching out
Unilever.
to- Yeah, I think we try reaching out to them.
I can help facilitate that
Okay.
if you want. But he would be a good guy to feature because this is a Liberian who went to school here. They went to St. Patrick's,
Right.
went to school here, and he's done extremely well.
We certainly appreciate that.
And there'll be a few others Liberians in the U.S. who I think would benefit from this exposure, and Liberians and others would benefit from seeing them. So it's important that we provide opportunities for people to aspire
Right.
to see what's possible.
This is me.
Hi, I'm Bez Garlow.
Hi, I'm Nesta Vicencio.
Wow, Michael Gilman.
My name is Emily Lakfukuyu.
Guys, my name is Jacinth Headlam.
My name is Yacindy Martin.
I'm Octavius Salperi.
Nano Sabas.
My name is Wayne Yoder, and
Hi, this is Bill Rogers.
Well, hello, welcome. I'm D. Curtis. You're watching This Is Me. This Is Me is a new show that is all about me. No, not really. It's all about you. But the name of the show is This Is Me. So I can't say this is you, even though the show is all about you. So that's why it's about me. Nah, not really me. This whole thing is getting confusing. Can you just repeat after me? Say, this is me.
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 There you go. You got it. This Is Me is a show that gave personalities the unique opportunity to tell their own stories right here on This Is Me. What better person to tell your story than me? No, I mean you on This Is Me.
This is me. No one else can tell my story. No one else but me. Oh yeah. This is me. This is me. Yeah. Get to know who I am.
Listen, come closer and me tell you something secret. This is me. We're looking for sponsors. We're looking for people to partner with us. We can't do this on our own. If you'd love to sponsor, please contact us today. Like today. Huh? Today.
Oh,